Mos Def was in the news a couple weeks ago for criticizing Drake and his music. He did an interview where he compared Drake's music to music that you would hear in the mall. You know, the kind of music that you hear in Hollister, it'd be Forever 21. Music that is just background music that doesn't really make an impact. Drake was not a fan of his criticisms. He actually responded, called them a bohemian bucket, which is slang for crackhead. Well, today, Mos Def got on IG Live, and I guess he wanted to clarify some of his statements. Once again, the blogs always become the scapegoats whenever people get in hot water. According to Mos Def, the blogs twisted his words, tried to spin it a certain way to make it seem like he was attacking Drake. He then goes on to make a plea saying, Drake, I DM'd you if you want to talk. If you see this message, hit me up. Let's chat. Here's what he said.
Some weeks ago, I sat down for an interview, which I do rarely. Some of the comments that I made about Drake. First of all, I don't hate anyone. My opinion is mine. It's legal in all states, as far as I'm aware. There was not an opportunity to try to slander him or to clown on him. I have reached out to him. I have no response just yet, but I'm not keen to talk about people or to them through a screen. I prefer to talk to people directly. But I will say this, the young man is very talented. He's been able to be very successful with that talent, and I have no issue with his success or anything that he's been able to achieve as a result of his talent. I do feel that some of the criticism that he's received in the past has been mean-spirited and unfair. So I don't want to participate in that. And if I was perceived to be harsh or mocking or taunting, that is not my intention. And Drake, if you're watching or if you come across this, that's not my intention, brother. I've never had no issue with you personally. I don't know you well enough to even have any sort of issue with you in that regard. Nonetheless, it's not sacrilegious to have a critique or an opinion of a public figure, particularly one of that magnitude in current modern culture. It was a question that I was asked, and I answered it as earnestly and as diplomatically as I possibly could. Forgive my Brooklyn. With that being said, at this given time, and let me be clear with this, at this given time that we are all living through, this is not where the focus ought to be. Drake, if you would like to speak to me directly, you can at any point. I reached out to Chappelle, asked him to reach out to you. I DM'd you. You are a very talented MC. But for me, I require more of myself and others than just talent or charm or charisma, particularly in times of urgent crisis. And what I would like to see in terms of creators or creative people in the world as it relates to our culture is for people to connect with us beyond the jukebox or the dance floor. You know, a fair weather friend can hardly be called a friend at all. The people who party with you, that's cool, but will they show up if you're at the triage or you in a crisis.
Now, some of you guys may see this differently, but this is the definition of backtracking. You knew exactly what the question was when they asked you, do you think Drake is hip-hop? Mos Def is a smart guy, so I know he knows exactly what he was saying at that moment. And telling Drake to connect with us beyond the jukebox when you left the country for 15 plus years is insane. Everybody always wants to use Drake to draw attention to whatever issue they're currently caring about. Anytime there's a major issue going on, people always want Drake to speak on it. Drake is not a politician. Drake is not Al Sharpton. You can't call the guy out claiming he makes pop music, then try to make your argument into a political one. And if I'm Drake, I have no reason to speak with you. You were asked a very simple question in an interview that you could have easily said yes to because Drake has more than enough catalog to be considered hip-hop, or use somebody else as an example. This is not 08, 09, 2010, where you guys can just use my music and me being biracial against me. Music is a form of entertainment that many people use to escape the reality they're currently facing. Let people enjoy Drake's music in peace and stop trying to tie it to this whole political agenda. You guys get in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think about Mos Def clarifying his statements about Drake. Post your comments below. Subscribe to my channel, like this video. I'll see you guys later, man.